So here's something that I definitely did not expect to hear, especially from one of the world's leading experts on the mind. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And earlier in this challenge, I was listening to a podcast where the interviewer was asking him about his personal relationship with God, and more specifically, what his biggest challenges were in that relationship. And he admitted it was his evenings, keeping himself away from his screens. Here's this guy who literally teaches thousands of people across the world how to rewire their brains and connect to their higher power. And here he was saying that his biggest challenge is protecting himself from looking at his devices at night. And his solution was simple. He just set a personal boundary for himself where he doesn't allow himself to look at his phone or any screens after 7 p.m. And instead, he just tries to experience real life. Go for walks outside, looking at the sky, feeling the breeze, whatever, just experiencing life instead of consuming content. And that hit me hard because if Joe Dispenza, of all people, has to set that boundary for himself, I definitely do. Now, my wife and I already have a rule for our two teenage boys that they're not allowed to get on their devices after 7 p.m. And we set that rule because we saw what was happening before we set the rule. They would stay up literally half the night stuck in their phones. And I guess somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that rule should apply to me too, but I guess I just wasn't ready to admit it. But I did try something, okay? I went into my phone settings and I scheduled my apps to shut off automatically at 8 p.m. But I also have to be honest, I didn't stick to that rule perfectly. I found ways to get around that boundary more than once. But what did stick was the awareness because every time I bypassed that filter, I knew what I was doing. I couldn't pretend anymore that it was harmless. And just that awareness has been changing me slowly in ways that just the filter alone couldn't really do. Because the Spirit First Challenge isn't just about protecting our mornings. In fact, Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. It doesn't say just in the mornings. It means all day, every day. So I guess my biggest takeaway from today, day number 14 in this challenge, was a reminder that yes, this morning habit of putting Spirit first is important, but it's really just a starting point because our real goal should be guarding our hearts all day long. So, what about you? When are you most vulnerable? That time of the day where you drop your guard and those old habits kind of sneak back in? Please leave that in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.